Hello everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to my Sunday share. So for some of you guys, you're seeing me twice today. So right now I'm going to be doing Sunday share, and I'm actually doing a Step It Up Sunday class today. But earlier this afternoon, I hosted my Stamp With Me class on my Stampin' Ink Designs group. And while everybody's hopping on to find me, I thought I'd show you the two cards that we created. So both of the cards, I'm going to show you the front. Both of the cards use the Bird Ballad designer paper. And we actually created a pop-up stand-up card. This is just a flat card. It's scored in the middle. And then you just go like this to make it stand up. Everybody loved that one. And then my second one that we created, and what I love about my group page is everybody puts pictures of their projects, and I love seeing all the designer papers that everyone uses. So this was the front of this card. I don't have a sentiment on there because this is actually a double easel card. So this props up this way, and then we have a little tiny card in the front that props up this way. So it's kind of neat how they both work together to stand up together. I told everybody it's like teamwork. And then this just folds flat for mailing. So if you don't belong to my Stampin' Ink Designs group yet, just search for that title and ask to join my page. And I try to stamp 2 to 3 times a week with the group. So tonight I am doing Step It Up Sunday, and that's where I start with a simple card and make it a wow card by the time I'm done the other 2 cards. But first, just a few announcements before I get started. We're into the last week of April. Here is my April hostess code. Make sure you enter that when you check out of my online store to earn free products from me. My free card kit for the month of April. Anyone that places an order with me, you'll get all the pieces to create your own card. And finally, my door prize for the month of April. Everyone that places an order, their name will get entered into my drawing, and that includes all of my paper pumpkin customers. Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. So tonight I am using the Geared Up Garage stamp set along with the Garage Gears dies. You can see there's quite a few missing here because I'm using them tonight. I am happy to announce that this stamp set is not retiring, so it will be available in the new catalog. And if you know me well, you know I love masculine cards, so I love that this was not retiring. For ink colors, I'm using Whisper White, Pacific Point, Soft Suede, Smoky Slate, and Memento Black. I'm also using the Tailored Tag Punch. And I've got a few blends markers I'm using. I'm using the Seaside Spray Light and Dark, the Smoky Slate Light. I've got the Aqua Painter. And we're going to get started with the first card, which is a clean and simple card. I'm only using 2 layers of cardstock. The first one is thick Whisper White, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm so used to stamping with my other group where I go really slow so they can stamp with me. So I just did remember that I'm not doing that tonight. Whisper White, 5 inches by 3 3/4. And for my simple card, card number 1, I'm just creating a 1 layer. So this would be considered your SIP card, stamps, ink, and paper. I'm going to start out with Memento ink, and we're going to ink up the car image. It's going to go right in the center and over to the left. And then my favorite image is this one right here. It's the smoke that comes out of the car. I just love this image for some reason. I'm going to use Smoky Slate with that one. And we're going to stamp that right in the back of the car. I'm going to stamp it twice without re-inking, just to add some light and dark ink. I thought I got ink on my finger already. Next, I'm going to do the sentiment with Pacific Point ink. That's going to go right below the vehicle. And then I'm going to do just a little bit of coloring, just 2 colors. I'm going to start with the dark. This is the Seaside Spray. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the light. Now for most people, this would be a beginner card. They probably wouldn't be coloring at this point, but I didn't want to leave the car looking black and white, so I did add a little bit of color. And then I'm going to glue this in place with dimensionals. Oh, Dolores is saying she didn't know that this was smoke. Yes. This car is probably doing a burnout. That's what we call it up here, is a burnout. And you probably could smell the rubber on the tires when he does a burnout. That's too funny. Okay, now this is going to go right in the front. So nice, quick, clean, and simple. Card number 1. So now let me bring in everything for card number 2. So remember, we start out with clean and simple, and we're going to add a couple new elements to make the card a little bit more complicated. So I've used the Gears die with basic black cardstock. I'm using the same Whisper White 5 inches by 3 3/4. I'm adding a card base, Smoky Slate, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. My card bases are all the same size for all 3 cards. I have a scrap of the Seaside Spray, and that's actually what I'm going to stamp the car on. And I'm going to show you the card in a minute. Let me do my stamping. I am going to have to use the Big Shot a few times tonight. And here is card number 2, a little stepped up by adding some layers. So I'm going to go ahead. And Dolores, you get to watch me do some more smoke. Now this time I'm going to go all the way across, and I'm going to stamp twice without re-inking both times. So I just kept turning the stamp all the way across. Then I'm going to go ahead and glue the little gears. And this gear die cuts really well. No messing around. I'm going to lay that on the background like that. This time I'm going to stamp the sentiment on the little white strip. I'm using the same sentiment on all 3 cards tonight. And then I'm going to have to cut out the car with the Big Shot. So now I'm just going to use the tailored tag punch to create a banner on each end. So that's all set. Now I wanted to do something a little different to the car to make the windows not so blue. So that's where my white ink comes in. I'm going to squeeze the lid just to get some white ink on my lid. And I'm using the aqua painter, and I'm just adding a little bit of white to the windows. And I'll show you close up what that looks like. It kind of mutes out that blue color. I'm going to do the same thing with the windshield. It just kind of tones down the blue so that they look more like windows. I'm going to add one more layer of white. And let's see if I can show you what that looks like. Hope that makes sense. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the Big Shot so I can cut out the little vehicle. There's my die. I am going to use washi tape to hold that in place. And I do have, I'm going to have quite a few elements to cut out for card number 3. This one only has 1. So I'm going to leave my cutting plates right here. So now all we have left to do is to assemble this card. Actually, I got to stamp one more time. We got these little, what are they called? Nuts and bolts. We got the little nuts to stamp. But I think I'm going to glue the car and the banner in place first, just so I'll know where to stamp those. I'm going to start out with the banner, that way I can layer the car on top. And that's going to go right here. So isn't it cool how you can layer all of the elements here, and it looks kind of neat. There's my car. Now we're going to do these, and I'm just going to put some on the bottom and then around the top and the left side. And that's all that needs. So now I can go ahead and glue that to my smoky slate card base. I wanted to make sure it wasn't upside down before I glued it on. So I love masculine cards. It's my favorite to create. I don't know why. I'm just drawn to masculine cards. So whenever there's a new set, a new masculine set, there's 3 things I look for in a new catalog: masculine, butterflies, and leaves. Those are like my 3 favorite things. Okay, and there's card number 2. So this is stepped up number 1. One more to go. So let me bring everything I need for card number 3. And this is going to be stepped up card number 2. Get a little more supplies on this one. Now I am using I can't remember what they're called, Classic Garage metal elements. These are cute. They're little wrenches. Let me put them on a dark sheet so you guys can see what they are. A little key and a little wrench. And these are retiring. So if you are interested in those, make sure you purchase them before the end of the month. Okay, this time instead of smoky slate, I'm using Pacific Point, same size, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I've gone ahead and used the smaller gears. I've already cut those out with basic black. And then we have a whole bunch of little pieces here we're going to stamp and cut out. I've already used this die with a silver foil. Look how rich that looks. It looks like all chromy. That's going to look great on the car. So Pacific Point is the card base. Smoky Slate is layer number 2, 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that in place. And then I'll show you the card. So this would be considered the wow card out of all 3. Ready? So you already saw card 1. So for those of you tuning in late, this was card 1, clean and simple. Stepped up card number 1. And then here is stepped up card number 2. Look at all the layers. So now we got to do a little bit of stamping. And where is my car? My car image again. So we've got the car, we've got a little toolbox, and that's on real red. There's the little toolbox. Then we've got a little gas tank on smoky slate. There's the little gas tank. Isn't that cute? And what else do we have? Okay, we have a sentiment. Oh, I need another piece. Hold on. I forgot all about the sentiment. So there's my little piece for the sentiment. So even though this says you're a classic, we also have this one that says you jumpstart my heart. How cute is that? Now, I'm going to move everything over. I'm going to do my cutting and then we'll stamp after that. Let's get the cutting out of the way. So I need all of these dies. I'm going to try to cut them all out at the same time, so I just have to do this once. Okay, so there's the car. See if I can get these all lined up. Here's the little sentiment. Now we're using the same one that we used with the silver foil. Let me see. I'm going to try to put that this way. No, I got to put it this way. Wait, which way is this way? I couldn't remember which one goes to the top. Okay, there's that one. I think I'm going to move this one over. I'm going to go sideways. Let me cut this off. I just want to try to fit them all in there. There's the little gas tank. A gas canister. My French just came out. There's the little toolbox. And let's see if we can cut all 4 of these. Okay. Now this pops right out, so you can use this for another card. There's the car, the gas can. That's what I want to call it, the gas can. I don't know why I called it a gas tank. Okay. Now let's get set up. I gotta do some more smoke. So let's bring in the smoky slate. We're going to have smoke everywhere here with these vehicles. Let's see, I'm going to stamp off. And I'm going to do one more right there. I just love this stamp. I could stamp this all over the place. Okay, now let's see what else we need. We're going to glue the car in place first. And that's going to go right here, and I'm going to put the sentiment right below that. Next is the little toolbox, and we're just going to sneak that in. The gas can. So it's kind of fun to just stick this wherever, just sneak it in there. Now, because we have 2 pieces, what I did with this one is I turned it upside down. I put them back together, and then what I did is I glued them just like that with the dimensionals. And I'm going to add one more in the center. See, and it kind of holds it all together. Now, this is going to go right here. And then we have these cute little metal, where's my glue dots? Right here. So I'm going to do the key first. I'm going to add a glue dot. I'm going to tuck that in. And I'm going to do the same thing with the wrench. I think why I love these so much, my dad was a mechanic. And I used to spend a lot of time in the garage. My mom used to call us little grease monkeys. I'm trying to sneak that under. Let me see if I can grab. Oh, I know why. This one didn't go under. Now we can sneak that under. So there's the 2 little metal thingies. Now we're going to add the two little gears. I'm just going to layer one over the toolbox. I'm going to layer one in back of the car. Look how much fun. This is like a big puzzle. And lastly, we're going to add the sentiment. Oh, and we need to add the little bolt or the nuts too. Okay, there's the sentiment. And then a couple of these and we're done. There's one and there's two. Doesn't it remind you of a little collage type thing? It's so cute. Okay, now I'm gonna glue this with dimensionals. Oh, thanks for all the love, you guys. I've been seeing hearts going around. I had a lot of hearts this afternoon too when I created the other two cards. Okay, so all I got left to do is to glue this in place, and then I'll bring all of the cards back out so you guys can see them all. So that goes right in the front. So there's number 3. So let's see, there's number 3. This one was number 2. I gotta move them over just a tad, and then this one was number 1. All done. So thanks so much for joining me, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. And I need to do a paper pumpkin class sometime this week, but I usually do them on Mondays, and I'm not going to be here tomorrow. So I might be on Tuesday morning with paper pumpkin. So have a good night, everyone. I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.